These are really sweet, but Beyerdynamic back in the gadget lab. The company sent over the new Byrd wireless earbuds for me to take on a test drive, share my thoughts. The recent offerings from this label have been really fun. DT headsets have been a staple of my entire recording career, and the new mics and headphones are bulletproof. Genuinely fantastic pro and prosumer gear. And so seeing more attention pointing at premium consumer gear from this brand is always going to be a good time. The Byrd are exactly what I would have expected from Beyerdynamic. There's a specific focus on audio tuning, audio quality, but also some interesting lifestyle tech we don't always see in true wireless buds. We've got nice big 10mm drivers. They connect over Bluetooth 5.2, and they use aptX adaptive on Qualcomm powered phones. They fall back to standard aptX on phones like the Pixel 6, and they use AAC when you pair them with an iPhone. Of course, active noise canceling. We've got touch controls in the casing, in-ear detection that auto pauses when you take one of the buds out, with IPX4 for sweat resistance. And the case supports wireless charging. Before we get too into the rest of this review, I want to praise the recent packaging changes at Beyerdynamic. This company is going all in on paper and cardboard. I love it. This feels so much more premium than plastic wrap and cellophane. The new DTs had this kind of packaging too. I have to shout that out. Just a solid thumbs up. Now, in this box, because this is an audio brand, there are a ton of ear tips to choose from. Silicone and foam to help you get the best fit. I saw foam. I love foam. I almost exclusively listened on foam, though that likely mellowed the sound of these out a little bit, and we'll talk about sound quality in just a bit. The other tech perk folks are going to love, these things have epic battery life. Beyerdynamic estimates over 8 hours of listening on a single charge with ANC on. That number jumps up to 11 hours with ANC off. I genuinely don't. I honestly don't know how accurate that estimate might be. They say they test playback at 100% volume. I can't keep anything in my ears that long for a continued stretch, and I could not kill them in one charge over the course of a regular day of listening. The case, of course, has a battery built in that extends the total playback time out in the field another 19 hours. This is fantastic. I haven't played with anything this long-lived in a while. Now, these are not small earbuds, so folks with littler ears are probably going to struggle to find a comfy fit, but the combination of ear tips, the foam and silicone options, were spot on for my slightly larger than average ear canals. Especially with foam, a little squeeze, you kind of twist them in there and then they fill the ear really well. Looking at the outside casing, I was worried that they would fail the moving your jaw around, that chewing test for true wireless, but nah, they were snug, they stay put. This is a very comfy fit. The other tech aspect I'm a little twitchy on though, I don't love the touch controls. The touch is responsive, the actual activation, but the controls are hard mapped, and I don't see a way that we can customize. There is a single tap command, which is great. There have been a few earbuds recently that have just given up on single tap. That's for play pause. That's good. But volume controls are an odd tap, tap, hold. And when you do a volume adjustment like that, it's a huge change. We're not talking one click from your phone's volume rocker. It's like a 20% jump in one change. If any folks at Beyerdynamic are listening, I'd really appreciate the ability to customize what the commands are. Maybe I need to make a more immediate volume correction than just tap, tap, hold. And I'd really appreciate smaller volume steps. You can kind of blow your ears out if you're not careful. This also being a newer Qualcomm powered earbud, we do have a user controlled mode for low latency. Unlike other aptX adaptive options and aptX low latency, we're getting down well below 100 milliseconds. This is getting to be a sweet spot where gaming is totally doable. We're right on that edge where even rhythm games like Necrodancer or Thumper can be played over Bluetooth. Bluetooth has already been solid for gaming audio that isn't cue dependent. Getting down into rhythm carnage is very exciting. All that tech stuff, this is great. And I have to say, with some fun surprises from a more audiophile and recording focused brand, but these are earbuds, so we should discuss how do they sound. The Byrd are really sweet. I'm using those emotional words to describe sound quality. I'm using them with the foam tips, and I would use words like sweet and mellow. Now, out of the box, the tuning is a little darker without being sloppy on bass and low frequency. But overall, the sound is just really chill. I'm not catching any hype at the high end. Sometimes a deep V or a smiley face EQ can make the highs a little artificial. They get shrill. That's very fatiguing area for me. My personal preferences always lie towards more mids. I love razor wire articulation in the mid range for clarity, things like the voice tremor or guitar distortion. I could definitely do with more mids here, but I can't fault the design on these just being straight up comfortable. That's what's so fun about nice audio gear. They're not dull. This isn't muddy for being a little darker. There's some pop and some punch on instruments. I can hear the rasp on synthesizers and guitar rock. And there's a fun bounce to hip hop and electronica, but it doesn't get boomy. The bass doesn't roll over detail in the mids. If I were to make a clumsy comparison that maybe some other headphone fans might be able to grok, we can look at planar magnetic cans as a great option for critical listening and articulation. But then you get some cans like the Ultrazone or the Meze 99, which are way less fatiguing when you just want to kick back and relax. The out-of-the-box tuning on the Freebird are a little more like the Meze 99 compared to some of the other earbuds I've recently sampled. Of course, earbuds, and especially buds that can also double up as some good sport buds, you're not always going to be listening in perfectly quiet acoustic rooms. The ANC on tap here is very good. It's not the most isolating ANC that I've ever used, but it cuts a lot of the background noise and it handles incidental noises decently well. It was even taking some of the edge off my really clacky gamer keyboard. The thing I love hearing on premium options is how little the ANC affects the quality of the audio you're listening to. Less expensive solutions with ANC can sometimes scoop out the mids of the music you're listening to. It's almost like taking an ice cream scoop right to that mid range. I catch almost no EQ difference between ANC on and off. Myself personally, I'm happy to trade a little of the outright noise canceling to get this kind of acoustic performance. And the flip side, the pass-through audio is pretty good too. It seems to elevate some sounds, like walking on dirt and gravel felt a little elevated, but it did an excellent job of reining in traffic sounds. I feel this is still a touch hyped over what I think my ears would have heard in that space, but we avoid environmental sounds that come in too harsh. Kinda not surprised Beyerdynamic would have this mode well-tuned too. The only tweak I'd maybe suggest, this is so nitpicky, I really don't like the ANC on voice alert. ANC on. You flip the ANC on and you hear the difference in noise reduction. And then it feels like another half second after that, a voice chimes in to tell you that the ANC is on. On my very first wear, I went through this silly cycle of turning it on and off and on and off because the delay in the voice alert was just long enough that I thought it hadn't registered the tap command. Of course, there's a companion app. The Make It Yours app is nicely laid out for ANC controls. There is a fun tuning section so you can customize the earbuds based on a hearing test. The EQ section is well stocked for popular presets: bass boost, warm, treble roll off. I wish I could customize my own lift the mids preset though. There is no custom EQ that I can see. If you want to tweak some of that stuff, you'll have to go in through whatever music app you're using on your phone, or maybe if your phone has a dedicated EQ section for sound quality. And of course, the all-important microphone quality test. This is not a call quality test. I'm recording this locally onto my phone through the camera app. It's a really breezy day here in my neighborhood, so we might hear just a bit of what the wind is going to sound like hitting across these microphones. But we can get a sense of what this is going to sound like, of course, before we compress that signal and send it up over a phone call. And I think we're doing pretty good. And lastly, I know it's the popular feature people always are asking about in my comments, but there is no direct multi-connect. Instead, the Freebirds are using a halfway step. It's a fast pairing feature. You can hook this up with up to 6 devices, but the transfer is still a manual action from the user on a host device. In the press kit, this was called Barge in Dynamic Connect. The cool thing about this, there's no power cycling or repairing from the earbuds. The earbuds remember the device that it was paired to. So if you have 2 gadgets paired, you still have to hit the Bluetooth settings and connect from there, but it transfers very quickly. And you can juggle those connections almost as fast as multi-point on a pair of AirPods. You just have to go through the host device Bluetooth settings to do it. It would be really cool if Beyerdynamic could maybe make a widget to pop that connection over between a phone, tablet, and laptop. I'm just saying, Beyerdynamic, please take my idea for free. So yeah, I'm getting to that point. I've definitely been rambling on long enough, but Beyerdynamic, free Byrd, true wireless earbuds. These things are great. This is a fun, mellow, sweet tuning, very good ANC, phenomenal battery life, and respectable pairing tech with a high quality audio codec. The main stumble for me might be the controls, which I would hope, but I don't know if they can change that in future firmware updates. It's a premium tier product from a premium consumer electronics brand, but we're in a solid position against other expensive solutions. MSRP at $249 sounds about right for where I would position these against competing earbuds. Soundcore and One More can give these a run for their money. I like the ANC on the Freebird better than on the Aventone or the Master and Dynamic earbuds. This is such good evolution for true wireless, and consumers stepping up to this market are well rewarded with great sound and fun tech. There are so many choices. It's a really good problem to have. It's going to be up to the listener to pick the tuning and the features that matter most to them. That's what good competition should look like. And Beyerdynamic has a monster option to play with. So I will, of course, drop a link in the description below where you can find more information on the Beyerdynamic Freebird. Maybe shop some of these bad boys online. As always, thanks so much for watching, for sharing these videos, or subscribing to the channel. All the support lately has been absolutely fantastic. Those of you who are catching those links, hitting my home site, SomeGadgetGuy.com, maybe you're shopping a little merch. That kind of stuff really does help keep production rolling on this channel. And a huge special shout out to the list of names scrolling by on your screen from my Patreon, patreon.com/SomeGadgetGuy. This list is basically the coolest collection of tech pals in the universe, so I hope you'll check them out. Now, you know where you can find me around the rest of the internet, at SomeGadgetGuy on the Twitters and the Twitch, not so much on the Facebooks and the Instagrams, and I will catch you all on the next review. And I made it this whole review without making the obvious joke about the name of the product and a very specific song. But I couldn't let the video go without calling that out now.